Hi there, this is Jim the Keys bartender. That just popped on right
Jim.
here. This is Joel, and I'm here with Joel and Jack.
Jim.
Jack and Joel and Jim. Okay, 3 J's. J Cube. Did we do that before?
No,
J Cube.
Right. This is a discovery.
J Cube. Okay.
J3.
Yes, just initials, right? But
Yeah.
we're gonna call this episode "Everything is the Same but Different," or "Everything is Different but the Same."
The way I put it is, at one level, everything is the same. At another level, everything is different.
Okay, great. We're going to get into that deeper because you guys, it's been, I think it was April when
No, it was
March?
February and March.
March when we were last got together right before I got with the, I'll give you a brief history. I was here, so that's no big deal, but I entered an agreement with a production company, and that started in May. And it's called 43 Keys, and they'll be taking the show, and I'm going to give them a description of it.
So does that make you more legit now?
Hopefully, yeah. The listenership has gone up. We are international.
Wow.
Okay.
We are international. Obviously that
We've listened in Spain.
Okay.
Well, have you really?
Yep.
Yeah, good for you.
And,
the worldwide.
And I've been down in Key West. I did a show in Key West from a bourbon, not exactly a distillery, from a display room, a tasting room, because the bourbon is called Key West bourbon. They're distilled in Kentucky, but their headquarters.
You couldn't get into Hemingway's?
Hemingway's? No, well, this is just what I did, and I went to Irish Kevin's, and some things have changed since then. I haven't gone into depth. I'm not hiding it or anything like that, but it wasn't germane to any of the podcasts that we had so far that I do with my co-host Jenna.
Huh?
And but you have both been gone. Jack is a dentist, and you went back to
Vermont.
Vermont.
Yes.
Was it a beautiful summer for you?
It was short.
It was short?
Yeah, it was short, but it was beautiful because there's lots of lakes and streams, and you can kayak and you can hike and do a lot of things outside.
Is that the activities you do, or are these things you recommend to people? Are you a big biker? Because that must be
not a big biker, just recreational.
You like hiking? How about fly fishing?
Mainly we like to kayak and play tennis. We take nice long walks.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you do if you like to be outside, but you don't want to overdo it. It's not like you're a supreme athlete or something like that. Obviously, you just want to get out and do something every day.
Doesn't sound all that interesting, Jack.
No, when you get older, you kind of if you do one thing a day, you've had a good day.
This is true.
I actually that sounded really nice, and I'm well, compare who we're talking to. That's all right. That's just the magic. I have notification. I have a new phone. I'll talk to you.
You're
maybe
already making excuses here.
Well, you have to hear what you're gonna really like this story. I'll tell you later. The listeners heard
You
it.
said this was going to be professional, Joel.
I won't wait. I wasn't suggest that. Okay, but you had a relatively uneventful.
Well, I work part time too.
Yes.
So I would work and I would play.
You do that for the Defense Department? You work.
We would
can't talk about that.
We would like to have our own country in Vermont. We would like to secede. We think we can run things better. But as far as having a defense department, no, we have nothing to defend. We're laissez-faire.
Okay.
Okay. Nobody want to attack us because we're harmless.
Okay.
We're Vermonters.
So you're not going to do anything. You're not going to have a preemptive strike against the dentist in New Hampshire.
They'll self-destruct.
Okay, they will.
They burn out.
How about Joel? How about Joel? In Spain.
No.
Joel was in Spain.
No. The thing is, don't you worry about
submarine off the
Vikings,
shores of Vermont, which don't have a shore.
No, the Vikings invading for the Vermont maple syrup.
Oh, so it's Canadians. You can't trust them. They're after our syrup.
The Canucks.
Everybody knows that.
The Quebecois, the French.
Yeah. It's
the French.
It's terrible.
It's true.
So uneventful. You had nothing.
Well, we went to Norway for a month.
Norway?
Yeah, my son lives there. He had his first child. He and his wife, and so we went to Skone, which is northeast of Trondheim on the west coast of Norway.
Trondheim. That's one of the largest cities. Okay.
Yeah, but we love the people there. They live on a farm now, so it was nice. We get to We've been there twice.
Oh, that's great.
So that was a nice way to break up the summer.
What's the water temperature like up there?
In June or July, we've been in the fjords. My son and I, we're crazy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's chilly.
Quick in, quick out?
Yeah, not long. But it was an I dare you type of thing. You know, my son's almost 40 now. So
It must be beautiful there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
Well, the fjords, they're supposed to be
They're spectacular.
magnificent.
Glacier.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they do things right. Over there, if you make a business deal with somebody, you shake their hand, you got a deal.
Mm-hmm.
If the guy breaks the deal, everybody in town knows about it, and he's shunned.
Shuns
You don't
them.
have a bunch of lawyers suing each other and all this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Like the
They actually
Amish,
treat
right?
people like we used to treat people in America in the 50s.
You know, it's the same I have to say, in Spain.
Yeah.
It's not litigious at all.
Yeah.
You know, a handshake will do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so, yeah, we're going to get to you, Joel. How was your summer in Spain? It must have been hot.
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 We had an extended summer, happy to say. And
Barcelona, right? Yeah, that right? Barcelona? No, where? Madrid.
No.
Oh, Malaga?
Yes.
There
Malaga.
you go.
Okay.
He got it.
One out of three.
But we
Yeah.
call it Malaga.
Malaga. Where's Malaga? Near the
In Spanish, the accent is always on the last syllable. Yeah.
Malaga?
Malaga is on the south coast, and it's about 40 miles east of Gibraltar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's way south.
It's right there. I mean, it's right
the
on
tip.
the mad.
If
It's-
Gibraltar was the foreskin, then that would be the top of it, of foreskin.
Foreskin?
Yeah, the head. Oh, you don't have. Okay,
We
neither
know
do
what
I.
you're talking about, but I never heard that analogy.
Yeah, no, I do that because of Florida. We always, we use that description of Florida that people don't understand the Keys, and the Keys is kind of like the essence of.
A half a rat.
The essence of the Keys are not the part of the penis. It's the ejaculant of it. Because
It's
it's.
serum.
We can talk
Yeah,
about
sir,
it.
yeah.
It didn't take us long.
You're
to
allowed
get
to.
that.
Yeah, you're allowed to.
Yeah.
So you're south, and
We haven't got
are you on the
anything like that
water
in Spain.
in Malaga?
Malaga.
Okay. I forgot. I didn't even emphasize
Not
that
quick.
either. I just went real quick.
Yeah.
Malaga.
Okay, Malaga.
Not
You
even
win.
close.
You
Not
win.
even close?
It's-
Oh, no, say I'm not hearing right.
Heretofore, it's Malaga.
Malaga. Didn't I say that?
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
That's what the gal on
No, I didn't.
Google Maps sounds like.
Oh, yeah, well. We call it
Okay, well, you know what? I challenge you to say the name of the town I flew into. I probably just spell it. You wouldn't even. It's RZSEKOW.
Yeah.
Guess. Rzeszów. Not even close. Rzeszów.
What country?
And San Rzeszów, Poland.
Where were
Oh.
you? Oh,
Poland.
nice.
I went to a wedding.
Yeah.
And,
What's a Polish wedding like?
long reception, a lot of vodka.
They don't drink.
lot
They
of-
do drink.
Oh, they drink a lot.
Potato
Yeah.
vodka, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they drink lots of vodka.
Yeah. Do they break glasses or anything like that?
No, that's Greek.
Yeah, that is.
They
Just
break
on
that
them.
kind of plates.
Glasses.
They do plates and
Yeah, the whole thing.
upa. But how was Spain?
Spain, wonderful. You know, it's just.
Are you on the
I
water?
don't want to sound like the Chamber of Commerce. 2 blocks from the mid.
2 blocks. Okay.
Yeah.
So wait. So
And-
let's see a picture, Joel. You go to when you go to the beach. You got your lounge chair, your board shorts, your
No, man.
bay hat. No.
No. Here's what goes
Your
on.
boogie board.
You know, after about 2 years,
Your noodles.
No, he's got his
Gabby,
noodle.
my wife
Honest to
Gabby,
God.
Yeah.
befriended the Beach Boy in quotes.
Oh.
He's sort of ageless, Pepe.
Okay. Pepe the Beach Boy.
Yeah, and he has the chaise lounges, and he has the thatch umbrellas. You know,
Oh, okay.
and so we're coming back from New York one time, and Gabby says, "I want to get this for Pepe." So we arrive on the beach, and just in a plain bag, she gives him "I love Chinatown, New York."
Oh, what every Spanish pool boy would like. Yeah.
Because he's a
Because he's a Spanish pool boy. Yeah.
Aficionado.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't even open it, and he says, "I don't like gifts." That's the first thing he says. The second thing he says is no charge. Okay, and that's like 5 years ago, and he hasn't charged us since, nor our friends.
Wow.
And this is very indicative of representational of Spain. They're very warm, very friendly. Love Spain, you can tell.
So, Pepe, is it okay? That's great.
The culture is just wonderful.
So that's your. If you said west of Gibraltar,
yeah.
So you're
east.
East. Okay, so you are in the Med.
We are in the Med.
You are in the Med. Okay, that's
yeah.
So, and the separation between Gibraltar and Tunisia, is it or no? Morocco. Morocco is.
You can see it.
You can see it.
You see it across the Med.
Yeah.
It's only 8 miles.
Wow.
I think the horizon is typically 18 miles. So you see it.
Yeah.
You wave at it, they wave back.
I saw pictures of that immigrants trying to get through the fence at Gibraltar. Is it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Oh yeah. Well, because Gibraltar is actually a British territory.
So what kind of a fence would you have in the ocean?
No, the fence between Spain and Gibraltar. And there's a double fence. And there's a double fence on the border.
Is it like a border wall type of thing with barbed wire and stuff?
It's
I don't know.
difficult to get into Gibraltar or out of Gibraltar. They've made it very, very difficult. And not much is happening in Gibraltar.
There's a point of contention between the Spanish and the United Kingdom.
UK,
for hundreds of years. So they kept it. They were able to keep it during World War II. Well, Franco was a fascist who was kind of a benign ally of the Axis powers, and it's surprising that the British were able to keep hold on to Gibraltar. Gibraltar was
he didn't have the armaments to really get into the war, so he took a pass.
He could have choked out the British a little.
He also took a pass. This is kind of interesting. Yeah. Right next to us, next burg over, going east, is Torremolinos. And Torremolinos has always been, as long as people can remember, through Franco, like a free city, like anything goes.
Were they Republican? Were they Republican? Republican in Spain meant something a Republican in the United States. The Republicans were the, I guess, the anti-fascists in Spain. They were, I
didn't know that.
Now I'm confused.
No, that's what they call. They call them Republican.
Well, it's nothing. No,
they call them.
The Phalangists were Franco, and they were monarchist and the Catholic Church and all that stuff.
And the communists.
And the communists were on the other side, on the Republican side.
Yeah.
I know, kind of. That's where you had the Lincoln Brigade. I was a history major.
I'm going to have to check that one out.
I wonder where all this is. I forgot.
I was a history major. I was a paper on the long the post
War II, post-war, Second World War,
post Civil War effect on the Spanish way to development of the Spanish.
Too much. I'm dropping my mind.
No, well, I'm inquisitive by nature.
Okay. Set up to you, Joe.
Right, I'm coming back.
No. And we were when Joel came back with his lovely wife and came in. You had an idea. You wanted to. You said, "Are you serious about writing a book?"
Well, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how I'm going to write it.
What's the topic? What's the subject?
Well, the working title is what I've said. At some point,
everything is different, but everything's the same, or is it the other way around?
Some level, everything is the same. At another level, everything is different.
But that's oblivious.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
obvious. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I guess if you were going to go societally, you could just say human nature is what it is, and people born as infants are, if they're born healthy, that they're born with the same set of core
that's one
human functions, and
that's one
but different.
Here's what I'm saying.
What?
If I may, so that's the continuum. And at one end, where everything is the same, it's guided by atoms, molecules, the periodic table, subatomic particles, that sort of thing.
Right.
Everybody's the same. We all obey those laws.
In this universe.
In
this universe. You know why I said it? Because there's 4 forces in the universe. There's a weak nuclear force and a strong nuclear force, and they work on the subatomic, very close saying.
Yeah.
And there's the gravitational force and electromagnetic force that works over long distances.
Okay.
And everything has to obey the same rules in this universe.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
And so that's one end of the continuum.
Yeah.
We're all subject to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other end of the continuum is some of the stuff you're talking about, where, here sit 3 humans, possibly 1 subhuman on my right here.
Well, you weren't going to mention any names, were you?
No.
No names
I would never.
Because he could be pointing to Jack or Jim at this point.
He could be pointing to himself.
In fact,
the listener doesn't know.
If he's pointing to a person sitting next to him, I was hoping he'd be pointing to someone else.
Well,
if he sees someone, he sees it. Unless everything, he's still talking about everything being the same, and he sees Jack and himself as the same.
Yeah. Obviously, this is a bright, if misguided group. So
misguided.
What? I think we've got it all figured out.
I can bring that attention.
Come on, man.
Where are we going to dive?
So on the other side of the continuum, anyway, we're all different. Anybody could look at the 3 of us and say, "Yeah,
they're different.
You guys are different."
Yeah.
I guess if you go back into the beginning, right after conception, and you get the little zygote, the zygoma, the fertilized egg, and right after it started splitting, and right every shrimp, a squirrel, a human, an ape, a giraffe, a bird would all look almost exactly alike.
And the bees?
In the beginning. Everything.
The birds and the bees.
I don't know. I don't know about bees.
Mammals. You're talking about fish, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just saying a fertilized egg.
He's talking about
the sperm
vertebrates.
and egg unite. You've got 2 cells. They look the same under a microscope.
Yeah.
You're right.
They look the same, and then
on the outside.
Okay. Yeah. Jack. Joel's not quite. He's trying to use it as a. I guess what's that called when you have a trach? You have a trach.
Yeah.
Set up, and he's trying to talk to him.
Oh yeah, his voice box is disabled.
Is that coming through at all? My voice box. What?
I don't know. I mean, a little muffled. Maybe.
Why don't you play along and just do what everybody else is doing for change? Can you do that?
That's what I've heard all my life.
I think as you go,
just play along.
Where's the payoff?
I don't know. I don't know what the idea of going from a very simple system, which would be you could go into atomic levels where a nucleus is a nucleus and a proton's a proton and an electron's an electron. And then you go into the more complex system as you go through that.
Subatomic particles.
Yeah, quarks and
you can
leptons.
But you can break a tree up or a rock or anything, and you can break it into the smallest particles. It's all energy. If you were to break you into the smallest part, it's
particles and energy are different.
Particles,
sorry, man.
Particles make up energy.
Well, that's one of the paradoxes.
Ernst Rutherford discovered that
how you look at
over 99% of everything you see is empty space.
It is. I believe that.
Well, you got your photons, and then you got your energy waves.
Well, photons. Wait.
And
photons.
No. And they can be particle, or they can be energy waves.
Yeah, that can be.
It's waves or particles.
Right.
I mean, it could be energy particles.
You choose.
So, yeah.
There's one school.
It's the act of observation.
One school that says the observer that photons actually receive their instructions from the observer and conform to what the observer is expecting.
That is called. I presupposed this. It's called observer bias.
Yes.
I presupposed it. I thought, Joel, before the thing, what would you be thinking?
He doesn't even
know. And I said, what would be the psychologist be thinking? And that's called observer bias. Yes. And that's why you use a double-blind system. And that's when they found the distinction of there being...
Yeah. I mean, that's very useful, but I hate it when they blind me.
Oh, yeah. You were blinded by science, like the music by, the song?
This guy, he works now at what's his name? Thomas Dolby.
Thomas Dolby, yes.
Yeah, he works now at the conservatory. That
for the music that you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what? This is what we do now. We take a break because they can insert a commercial. We might have to insert something in Joel right now. We're going to take a short break, and then we will come right back.
If you want to get your information about the Florida Keys straight from the locals who live here and the ones who love it here, we've got you covered. Visit 43keys.com as your source for everything Florida Keys. Sign up for our newsletter and you'll always be up to date on all the Keysy stuff that's going on down here. Go to 43keys.com. That's the number 4, the number 3, keys.com, and sign up today.
We're back. No,
we are back.
No, we didn't discuss anything of this before.
Well, you had that written down.
I didn't discuss. I had to generate this.
Yeah. You came up with the same thing that you had written down. You predisposed it, you said.
Well, he just told me the subject. Everything's the same. And then I had to think out what he's talking about. I had to drill down to.
Not everything is the same. At one level,
I think we predetermined that. I think
at another level, everything is different.
Well, yeah, but
is that a hard concept?
No, I said it's simple. The more simple a system is, the more likely it is to be the same.
Not necessarily.
Well, I'm just saying.
I would say not the more simple, but the more ubiquitous in this part of the galaxy.
Oh, if you're using a descriptor, if you're saying a mammal's a mammal, right?
Can we agree on that?
Or characteristic, or certain characteristics, or a tree is a tree. There's a tree, it has leaves and something like that's the same. It conducts photosynthesis in the same way. It takes its moisture the same way, and it converts carbon to oxygen in the same way.
What I'm saying is a rose is a rose.
No, but the closer you look at it, the closer you look at something, it is it varies.
That's right.
So that is the more complex.
Right.
That is the more complex. Now think of a twin, identical twin. From the time of what they call conception, they're almost identical in DNA, but slight variations occur as, and this is what I did my research on and stuff like that, as it starts dividing and as tiny mistakes show up, it replicates those mistakes. And the further down the line, it's like similar to a medieval monk copying a large manuscript. And he copies a manuscript, and another monk copies a manuscript,
and
interprets
it though.
And
after a while,
it goes on the next one, and each distortion occurs. It's like a recording of a recording of a recording, and those things change. But if you, but that's the deeper metaphysical level, when you're talking about that, is sharing the sameness as people and seeing the fusion of empathy.
The fusion of empathy?
Yeah. You get to empathy, man.
The fusion of empathy, when you, if you see the sameness of something being alive, and if you see everything being the same, meaning if we're all, like Jack was mentioning, energy, if everything's made of energy, but everything's organized slightly differently. So we're made from the same energy.
The empathy part,
the fusion of empathy. I sort of like that.
Suffering because you're
that's
there you go.
Or
I would argue that people that aren't animal lovers, I think they lack something. I think they lack in spirit, and I think they do lack in empathy sometimes because they don't really
keep that close.
They don't really know. They don't really identify with the suffering or the reality of being an animal. They don't study that because animals can tell us a lot, and I think a lot of people that don't love animals, they have a void in their life. That's my opinion.
But when I had discussions years ago with people that work in the sea mammal industry rescue, down here.
Yeah.
Well, rescue and the theater and different people that do it. There were people working in the theater. And I had a debate with a young woman about captive mammals that are able to be
viable in the wild, they should be allowed to be in the wild, and unless they're actually taking care of something that isn't viable, which totally makes sense. And she said I was anthropomorphizing the animal, saying that it has the same feelings. I'm just saying, if it wants to get away, then what's the instinct? Maybe, and with her argument is saying, if I said, well, maybe, okay, it doesn't have to think like a human. That's anthropomorphizing, is attributing human feelings to and who knows what they are feeling just because something doesn't have vocal
But there's
cords.
instinct to return to where you were born and to be with your like people or your like mammals. And to be,
and suggesting that they don't have human feelings.
Well, they may
their
not,
feelings
but they do
could be
have feelings.
their feelings are their own.
Yeah,
and it doesn't really matter if they're similar to humans. If you open the gates, they would.
A couple of observations. First of all, SeaWorld is really gone down.
Oh yes. Did they have it in Spain, right? They had a SeaWorld in Spain, and did they have one there? SeaWorld's an international one. They had it in Japan,
but
Spain.
They've really gone down because the public just won't support it anymore. The data's in. You can't take a wild, roaming, fairly brainy sea mammal.
Yeah, like an orca, and they work in groups and pods, are very advanced. No one knows the advancement of their civilization just because they don't have the tools to be able to create.
They have a society.
They have a society, and they communicate.
They have a language,
and they have lifetime partners and things like that.
They have large brains.
But the sameness is the ability for them to relate to each other, and the difference is
humans.
Us not being able to.
They're very good at relating to humans when they're not in captivity, like dolphins. Dolphins are really good.
Oh, yeah,
it's amazing that they still interact with humans. If you think about it, after
well, they haven't gotten the word.
Why they would? They go say, listen, don't get too close to these guys. They're
disruptive to the whole system.
Yeah. I mean, there was. Did you see it was the movie The Heart of the Sea?
No.
It's based on the the story that Moby Dick was based on. And it was a whaling ship that was based on a true story, was attacked by a whale. And it destroyed the ship and stranded their crew. And the whaling industry in New England, they sequestered the information, the outflow of information, because it was at the time in the 1830s, 1840s, whale oil was the primary lighting for the Western civilization.
Lamps,
and were able to conduct business, to be able to do all sorts of things until. In a small town in western Pennsylvania, Titusville, Pennsylvania, they discovered oil coming out of the ground, and then they said, "Well, I mean, I don't know what the worst thing was: the destruction of the highly intelligent species, or the extraction of carbon from the ground that hurt." I mean, a lot of people disagree with me on these ideas, but. I don't know how we got the sameness, the things where a lot of things are different and a lot of things are the same. If we rely on, we're all in the same small area with an envelope of 6 miles, 8 miles up, usable oxygen around. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're arguing with each other whether we are the cause. Or it just happens.
Stuff happens.
Well, my opinion, even if we don't have anything to do with it, and it's going to happen anyway, why wouldn't you do something? It's like taking vitamin C when you don't have any discernible thing that's going to help you with the cold. You're going to do it anyway because it might help.
Is it just me?
So you got to do.
It,
why would you do thing that could cause the problem? You mean the possibility that it does?
Is it faith-based?
There are people that call what they call that
God and Mother Earth will take care of this.
No. The Mother Earth people do not view it that way. They call it the it's a Christian mentality about having the something over the Earth's resources. It's
domination, but it's
a word for it.
Yeah,
there's a word for it where
Yeah.
It's where
So
man has the rule.
Domain.
Dominionist. Dominionist.
Yeah.
Dominionist means over the realm of earth,
Right.
mankind does it. And now,
God's work.
if that's the ruling of mankind, then there's a significant segment of mankind now that knows that disagrees with them.
Isn't that the same type of thinking that said that the Earth, everything revolves around the Earth?
That geocentric.
Yeah, I mean,
instead of a heliocentric.
a little bit arrogant.
And they're still, we had a discussion on a show that there's people, it's not necessarily arrogance, it's actually, it's actually ignorance, because there's a segment of people that don't believe in around Earth.
Yeah, even now.
And don't believe that they believe that the Earth is once you view the Earth as only being 6,000 years old, or whatever they view it as, and that then anything that happens on another planet, so anything is mainly pretty much a projection.
Well, here's the thing.
It's a geocentric
Here's
theory.
the thing, man. It's true. If you do go too far west, you'll fall off the Earth.
If you go in a
The edge
straight
of the
line,
Earth.
if you go in a straight line without finding a curvature of the Earth, you will leave the Earth. If you go in a straight line that way.
Yeah.
But if you're on the water and you go in a straight line, well, you actually wouldn't. You would actually hit Mexico eventually. But no. But if you went in a straight line and observed, and you stayed the same elevation, a straight line, you would be off the planet eventually.
Yeah.
And you will. That's the one thing they probably got the concept
believe
wrong.
that.
You would fall. You would fall into the Earth.
I'm one of the few scientists that actually believe that.
A flat Earth?
Yeah, I'm a flat earther.
I don't believe you believe flat Earth. You go to
What?
So the picture.
I'm dropping my mic again.
They got the thing. No, but they got the thing
I'm back.
with the icebergs and all that stuff. Their whole theory is mountains and icebergs contain the water, hold it in place, and
and stuff.
And seeing a mast of a ship come up. I mean, they started realizing that back in the 1800s that the Earth was over. A curved Earth that theory was over.
Yeah.
Columbus did not believe that. He may have been guilty of genocide.
Yeah,
but he wasn't guilty of seeing a flat Earth. They did not expect to fall off there. He just saw a smaller Earth. That's what his ignorance extended to. That he thought he was in India. Imagine going to a show. There was a comedian who said that. He goes, "Oh, well, obviously you go show up in the wrong place." And you say, well, if you went, let's say you got on a plane, you didn't know where we went, and you landed, and you were supposed to be in Cleveland, and you were in Dallas, and you just started calling, well, you're Clevelanders.
Yeah.
Because this is supposed to be Cleveland, because this is where I was supposed to be going.
Yeah, forgive me for interrupting, but let's give Jacques a chance to...
No, I'm listening here. I'm a good observer, and
you are.
Yeah, I'm being polite here. But my question is, some people say that it's all, man has nothing to do with this, therefore we'll just continue our ways. But, I mean, there's all kinds of evidence about the accumulation of carbon dioxide in the outer parts of the atmosphere, and the fact that there's a blanket of warm air under that because it can't escape through it, and that the sea levels are rising because of the melting icebergs and all this. And they can't. I don't understand how they can correlate that this is all a natural phenomenon. Part of it is, but this is happening at a unbelievably quick pace now.
Well, there's while you were away, there was a bunch of meetings that occurred because right before, a month before, there was flooding that went on for over 90 days in the certain neighborhoods where they've been underwater
in the Keys?
Continuously.
North of us, right here.
Yeah, still, and south, that's still right point there.
Yeah.
And they want Monroe County to do something about it, where it would take billions of dollars to retrofit the roads. And how high would you have to retrofit the roads in order to make them? But a majority of the people that argue that point are also people that believe it's a naturally occurring phenomena, even though they use science when it benefits them,
right.
And they poo-poos the thing that the change is happening so rapidly and it's accelerating that the act of trying
to mitigate it is a waste of time now from like we're looking at it. The people that accept the science are looking at it and saying, no, you can't do anything about it. The thing that we should be doing is on the other end of at the emission end, not fighting the effects,
results of it. Yeah,
not fighting the effects, fighting the cause.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the bottom line is,
and that's the same part. That's the same and different.
Don't buy property in the Florida Keys.
Or don't buy property that's only depending on where you are in sea level. Where it is, it really is. It's going to find its way. It's going to find its way inland eventually.
Dig this.
You know, there used to, if you go and look at the old fossil records in were those places in the west? You spent a lot of time in the west, Jack.
On the Badlands, for instance, in South Dakota, North Dakota.
That was a big inland sea, right?
Absolutely, it was a seabed.
In Spain.
Yeah.
So our place is 2 blocks off the beach, off the mid, but we happen to be 50 feet up.
Yes.
It rises very steeply. So I think we have some protection. But what do you have here in the Keys? I mean, you know, the main road.
16 feet or 18 feet is the high point in the Keys, where it averages about 3-4 feet.
Is elevated, so I think that's cool. But a lot of other places are we're right down at sea level here.
Mm-hmm. You're right here at high tide.
Which is beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Let me see right here. We're at Moonbay. We're going to take some pictures before we leave. And boy, it's a beautiful day here. But you can see right here where the that post is.
Yeah, sure.
That post, we're looking at dockage space here, and the post, the barnacle line,
or
the sea line,
feet, don't you think?
3.5 feet, about 8 inches below the surface of the dock. It looks like could be more, could be a little less.
Yeah,
and that is only getting higher. As according to the neighborhood, someone told me that the roads are sinking. That some guy told me his roads are sinking.
By the way,
that's one way to look at it, but I don't think that's the real thing.
No, and the one argument was the roads were sinking. Another argument was when the sewer lines were put in, they didn't take the fill and use the fill
to support the roads,
to build up the roads, and that was their responsibility, and they asked for them to do it.
So it's their fault.
Yeah, it's their fault.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter because it is going up. Whatever the fill may have been able to move up the road maybe 8 to 10 inches, and that they're expecting the rise to be within 10 years to be about that much. So it doesn't matter, and they're suggesting here that when won't be a 30-year mortgage available in the next year or two.
Are you serious?
That's makes true? Sense.
Oh yeah, only 15-year mortgage, and I'd be surprised if that stays in force. All that as they're rapidly redrawing the flood zones.
Oh wow!
Have you eaten barnacles? Anybody?
I found a couple barnacles. I never sucked on a barnacle.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the sea life or a nickel you found on a bar?
No.
Because that was a thing for my friend.
Because in northwest Spain, in Galicia, barnacles...
It says Galicia? I thought it was Galicia, but Galicia.
Galicia.
Yeah.
Barnacles are a rarity and delicacy.
It's a rarity?
Yeah. The thing is, they don't take them off a delicacy to eat, and they don't take them off.
Docks and wharfs and things, ships.
Yeah, docks, wharfs, ships. What they do is they take them off cliff sides. And so it's death-defying. They lower guys.
Oh, you can't really take them off docks or ships because of paint and the treatment, the chemicals and everything.
Oil, everything.
Yeah.
So what they do, they drop guys over the mountains on ropes.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear the rope part. Because that other one sounds just absolutely horrible, horrendous.
No, they, bungee. No, it's ropes. It's true.
Yeah, bungees, you only have a split second to grab.
Let me guess, they scrape the sides, right? Like window washers.
It's death-defying. But they have to wait till the wave goes out. To drop them, they quickly scrape them.
And then they pull them up?
Pull them up before the next wave.
That's why they're expensive, isn't it?
Expensive. When we were there, and this is a bunch of years ago.
Why didn't they use cliff divers with wallpaper scrapers?
You tell me.
Yeah. Isn't that? Oh, that's not Spain. That's Mexico.
Waves. I mean, against cliffs. I mean,
that's not fun.
It's fairly brutal, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No, not fun to be.
Back like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, we were up there and we were paying 144 euros a kilo for those babies, and they are delicious.
How do they cook them? The same as
140.
Steam them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2.2 pounds.
No.
And that's almost 200. That's $175 a kilo. 2.2 pounds.
It's about 10% higher right now. Back then, it was almost 40% higher.
What the euro?
The euro to the dollar.
Oh, okay.
So
it was like $200.
Very expensive.
$200, and that's like $90 a pound.
Yeah.
Wow. And how much would you? What's a smaller one you get? Did you ever think of why don't you just buy a bunch of weed over there? It's illegal. And just think and eat a bunch of popcorn and think you're eating a barnacle.
That's right.
We were lucky enough
barnacle flavored popcorn
to have a. We got invited to go with a local chef from Malaga. Malaga. To
wait, didn't you say
he did?
This is the reason why I'm not learning how to say the town.
I know,
Joe, because you say wrong.
I'm not out to teach anything. Those days are over. I'm retired.
Allow me to be teachable, and you be the teacher.
You're being selfish, Joe. You're being selfish. Share your knowledge.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway. Where were we?
Well, you're talking about Malaga.
You were talking about the barnacles you ate, and then you said you were going to say something that on Saturday night you drink a lot of sangria and you chase the wharf rats and you'd hurt them into town, and then they'd roast them over an open fire.
Yeah. On a spit.
On a spit.
Know?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I was just trying
Wild guess?
No. I wouldn't say that. I hope
he would like him. He's fantasizing.
Hey, if you had to eat, you'd eat almost anything.
I'll fact you one. Okay. Well, the way.
You're discombobulated right now.
I am. What happened was I got this wonderful invite to take a car trip to the north of Spain
with Pepe, the beach boy.
No, with what's his name?
Pablo the baker.
No.
Make up a name.
Make up a name. Miguel the barber.
There you go.
No, wonderful. I don't want to do him wrong. Wonderful chef, one of the best chefs.
That you can't remember his name.
In Malaga province.
Malaga province.
Yeah. And to take a tour of the north. Mm-hmm. So the wonder of it is that chefs try and impress chefs. So we visited every chef, from Galicia.
So you got all
over
the
to
good
the
stuff.
Basque.
Yeah.
Did you bring barnacles with you when you were doing it?
No, they served us.
They served them. They serve them all over.
That's what
the place?
I'm saying. No, this one chef in Galicia served us barnacles.
Oh, this is like an Anthony Bourdain trip you were on, right?
Dig it?
Yeah. Well,
except we weren't suicidal.
Hey, listen.
Not at all. We were suicidal.
Well, Anthony Bourdain wasn't suicidal until the very end, or successfully suicidal. I don't mean to make light of that. And we did talk about it on a previous show. We said if anybody, the Keys are a hotbed of that right down here. If you do have a problem with want to hurt yourself, please seek out help. There's a number, I think it's 211 in Florida, that you could get help. Yeah. We're at 45 minutes, and I want to tell you, since you were talking about it, my daughter, when we came back from Poland, she decided when they came back, I came back 2 weeks earlier, they stayed over, and she decided she was a vegetarian. So I'm
after Poland.
What did Poland? She was thinking that she saw some videos about the treatment of animals and processing centers and stuff like that. I was very proud of her doing that when she was 12 years old. So I supported her decision.
This is why I don't eat humans.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to clue you in on one thing. Soylent Green is made from people. It is. So, whatever you're doing, whatever you're eating people.
That's my favorite movie.
Yeah, it is.
I know.
Edward G. Robinson as Charlton Heston's father? I don't think so. I don't see it. I say that to people, and you guys appreciate that, right?
But it's pretty clear where it's going. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see
It's
any
only
part
a matter
of
of time.
Yeah, Charlton Heston. It was. Yeah. But now I'm eating a lot more.
Vegetarian now?
Yeah, I'm making a vegetarian ziti today.
I have something from the South China Morning Post, an article. Just
Tiger
recent.
peanut soup? No? Okay. I was just saying. You were
He
saying.
just took a shot at that.
What is that?
Tiger penis soup.
You never heard of it?
I don't know.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing. I think it's more of Japan, maybe. I don't know.
They eat everything here.
Yeah, because I think it produces virility.
Sounds alluring.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
Sounds
know
alluring.
what?
Well, it depends how it's.
If a guy went out there with a knife in the wild and went after and chased the tiger down, a healthy tiger, and took it out himself, I might respect it a little. But the way no.
Okay. So
You're talking about commonalities. That's a commonality right there.
That's a horrible thing. That
So
to do
I'll-
that. It's
I'll-
like shark finning and shark finning.
I'll send
and
this
things
to
like that.
your. I'll send this to you, and you can show your daughter. But there's, the food columns in the South China Morning Post out of Hong Kong are pretty great. Food, and more food, and they talk about a French chef, Spanish chef
From France. Who's in China?
who was in China.
Okay.
You got it. Yeah.
Spent maybe a decade and really got into veggie kind of stuff.
Vegetarian
And now
cooking.
he has a Michelin-starred restaurant in Spain that's, with few exceptions, very veggie. And it sounds very good from the article. So your daughter might enjoy that.
Okay. Well, she has a limited diet. The hard part was me coming up with recipes that she would eat, things she would actually eat.
Did she eat those stone crab claws?
Oh, she eats seafood.
Good.
Yes, good for her.
Yeah.
She
that's-
eats
that's
seafood.
good.
I'm trying to pick up protein.
Yeah.
And there's a guy over there that people can eat, walking on the rocks right here. An iguana.
Yep.
Yeah. Every once in a while, they walk by the pool here.
There's a bunch of them around the pool, all different sizes.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'd like to thank you both. We're going to do this again. Is that all right? You kind of seemed reticent when I mentioned that before.
I'll have to check my dance card. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm available all the time.
You want to say anything for your friends? Does any of your friends listen to the podcast? You're going to tell your friends?
Yeah. My
Malaga.
musician friends. Yeah. This is not the best example of improvisation.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Catch up with you
I
soon.
did it. I think
No,
I
Jim is.
anybody or
No,
anything?
Jim is great. Jim has a
I'm not
handle on
hurt.
this stuff.
I'm not hurt. I'm working a program now. I'm not supposed to be offended or take anything personally.
One question: are you particle or waveform?
It depends on who's looking at me.
At the moment,
It depends on who's looking at me.
I'd be looking at you.
Okay. What am I? A particle? I don't know.
Beats me.
Yeah. Jack?
Today's a particle. I think it's a more fragmented discussion today.
Yes.
It wasn't a flow like a wave, like a natural rhythm.
I think we had a real good flow. I think we had excellent.
Portions towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, no, we.
I
our
think
points.
you're going to be surprised by
We got our points.
By the result we got here.
It was very steady.
I heard
Yeah.
I heard a travel agent's spiel about Spain a lot, about the culinary wonders of Spain, and some geography and some history. We were all over the place.
Yeah. Well, that's the way the show is. It goes there.
I'm really glad you did your homework, man. So,
Yeah.
I always do.
particle
You
physics.
pick a subject for me. You just throw something up there. I'm going to go and do a little research
But he
into it.
doesn't think you're going to really do it. so
Jim,
just
no,
don't
but
be
Jim,
prepared.
no, Jim's an information
Junkie.
vacuum.
Yeah. And he does it right.
Oh, you're saying I suck?
vacuum.
No, that could be.
Vacuums it up.
No, yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's like, he just sucks it up.
Yeah.
What I'm saying.
Okay.
I take it as a compliment.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And we'd like to thank Jack and Joel and
Jim.
Oh, thank you. I'm Jim, the Keys bartender. We're going to be back. We're doing a couple other shows, and I'll be back with these guys again. And if you want to hear another topic, go somewhere else.
Right in. Any topic.
Yes.
We'll take any topic.
Take care.
Yep.
Bingo.
Bingo.